it's unconstitutional. The president said that it has to continue. So what will take center stage? Where will you get the money to continue the project? And yet the court said, the housing levy is unconstitutional, and Wakili is here to help us probably to get more details about that. So what are we looking at in Parliament? How are you going to debate this bill? The public participation bit of it took place. Where is he going to get the money? How are you going to handle this?
First, and I made it very clear in my previous interviews. One, the issue of housing should not be spearheaded by the government. When it comes to affordable housing, the people who are supposed to do housings should be the private sectors, the SACCOs. Those are the institutions that should be constructing houses. If you talk of affordable housing, instead of imposing a levy to people who necessarily do not need a house or who already have a house, because imagine you have a mortgage and someone now is already imposing a levy on you and you're already paying for a mortgage, then which becomes a paradox. What we indicated is if indeed government wants people to have affordable housing, they need to zero rate on cost of construction materials, and people will be able to build their houses the way they want at a low cost. Because once you remove taxes on materials for construction, then you can make everyone be able to afford to build a house. Today, if you look at what has been happening, here you are being taxed a levy, or you are being taxed money for a house which you don't know where the house will be. And then after the tax has been imposed on you, someone comes and sells the house to you at a tune of 2 million, 3 million. The hustler, how many hustlers can afford a house of 3 million? Again, the house is built on government land. So if you look at, you analyze and critically review the whole approach, then you tend to say there's something beyond what we see. And that is where the element of being a scam or the fraud comes in. So when the court said it's unconstitutional, we expected the government to honorably say we are going to refund the money we have collected from Kenyans. But instead of coming forward and refunding the money, the president declared and said he's going to continue. And you see, it's very unfortunate when all of us took oath of office, we said we are going to respect and uphold the Constitution. And the Constitution says we need to respect the decision of courts. So we need to understand, as state officers, we have a duty to protect our Constitution. We have a duty to respect our courts. Because once we don't do that, we are setting a very bad precedent, which is likely to set our country back to where we have been coming from. Remember the revolution, the multi-party system, and so much. The democracy we are enjoying today is because of the struggle the previous leaders have gone through. So it's a moment as patriots to respect what the courts say and what our Constitution tells us. Now, when it comes to Parliament today, we'll be able to tell them. And if we talk of the housing bill, yes, if we make amendment, for example, we say construction materials should be zero rated. That will reflect and resonate very well with all Kenyans. Because every Kenyan would want to have a house, a good house. If you go to the rural areas, most people have houses. What varies is the standard of houses they have. If you go to the Nairobi, the slums, I would give a good example. The UN Habitat, some years back, started slum upgrading. They built multi-stories for the people in the slums. What happened? The people in the slums moved to there, but now the additional cost, the unforeseen cost of maintenance of the multi-story was unbearable to most of the slum dwellers. So they went back to their original informal settlement and actually leased the houses that was upgraded for them. So the whole program did not succeed. So if you now bring and start telling us now you have another approach of affordable housing, and you are targeting people across the country who have not even told you that's their priority, then you seem to be missing the target. And you seem to be...
Why not drop in NHC? Because we have NHC here, which is also responsible for such national housing.
Yes, and you see that is their duty. And I've said in many countries, if you look at any progressive economy, the element of building houses is not done by the government, but is done by SACCOs, is done by private sectors. These are the people who normally spearhead such an exercise. In our country, if the president means well about affordable housing, he needs to zero rate taxes on all construction materials And I made it even clear when the bill was brought, the Finance Act of 2023.
Right.
My input to the bill was very clear. I said, if you really want affordable housing for Kenyans, remove taxes. Now look, do you know how much is now a cost of cement, a bag of cement? Initially it was at 600. Now it's 800 plus. Soon we'll be talking 1,000.
Yeah, because of the demand.
So if, no, the weakening shilling. And also with this approach of affordable housing, it has also created an artificial demand for dollar. What do I mean by this? Most of the items we use for construction, we're talking of the finishes, what we use in the toilets, etc. They're imported items. And once you create a demand for imported items, what that means is the demand for dollar goes up because people have to import. And you're importing in a foreign currency.
Okay.
And as a result, your shilling continuing to weaken. And is even weakening against our local currency, the neighboring currencies.
Yes.
I'm making reference to Tanzanian shilling. When Uhuru was leaving office, Kenyan shilling was exchanged at 22 with the Tanzanian shillings. Today it says 15. Uganda shillings was exchanged at 35. Today it is 24. So if you look at the performance of our shillings against our local, our neighboring currencies, it is to tell you we are not doing well as a country. We are on the nosedive.
All right.
And any patriot who means well for the country should go to the drawing board and rescue the situation before it gets out of hand.